EIM. Energetics of the past week. I don't know how you shorten that. Yeah. 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 Good. All ready for the countdown? Hello, everybody. I hope you are well. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Why do I say that? Because I this week, past week, literally the whole week, I have been experiencing a major clearing. I'm going to get into that. So yeah, joining me here on Holistic Radio and on YouTube. Hello, YouTube people. So yeah, so let's start at the beginning, shall we? So February, so Imbolc happens depending on what calendar you use. Ha ha ha. It's somewhere around the beginning of February. And the idea of Imbolc is a clearing, it's a cleansing energy. Yeah. So you're getting rid of old stuff, making way for new stuff. So in nature, yeah, well, we can see that. There's been lots of stormy stuff going on, including big winds that have, cleared the debris from plants, especially the trees. Yeah. So we can see nature doing that. Yeah. So February is definitely, a time of cleansing. Even so, before I carry on, so the energy of impulse isn't just one or two days. Yeah, that's something else. But I don't know if you realise it or not, but that energy moves all the way through to I think it's 20th of March this year. So that energy isn't, the impulse energy is just one or two days. It expands all the way through until the next one. So we're obviously for a little bit more of this cleansing energy, is what I would say. Um, but from a big picture perspective, I don't know if any of you have been watching someone. So if you want a really good indicator of what's happening on the planet geologically, Stephen Burns, who has a YouTube channel, he's brilliant. He talks, he's a geologist, but he's also a very, he's definitely a spiritual one, so he brings that into it as well. But what's really interesting about this month of February, and it might have been what I don't know, I'm not sure, but there has been a massive ramping up of Earth. This rock that we stand on here, she is having a massive clearing at the moment. I find, you know, quite incredible actually. Um, so what is she doing? What is she doing at the moment? There's been a lot of seismic activity going. I'm not sure if there's, I think there have been fires as well. I'm not quite sure about that. During this month. But there's been a humongous seismic activity. So I don't know that there's any volcanic stuff going, like big, explosive volcanic stuff at the moment. But there's certainly been lots of rumbling and moving of um, I think they've got the whole terminology wrong, but I don't care. Like the Earth crust and plates, whatever it is, are moving and doing stuff. So, what does that mean? What does that mean, and when it comes to this clearing energy? Well, so first layer is this year 2025 is a year of clearing, the 9 year, so it's ending this year. So all that old stuff, you're holding on to old crap, people. You're going to have to let it go. You're not going to get a choice anymore. Yeah, it's going to have to go. And that can be challenging. Me, that can be challenging. I've been challenged for the past week. um, so yeah, there's been a lot of seismic rumblings, lots of earthquake activity. Some of it's been quite well, some of it hasn't. I think they've even evacuated parts of Greece, islands there. I know Santorini has been a big focus, but what's also really interesting is at the moment in Italy, which has stuff going on because there are two volcanoes. Um, Pretty wrong on that. There might be more. Um, so at the moment, there's a lot of seismic activity going on in Italy, which I find really fascinating. So, still going to go on a little sidetrack here. So back in 2011, 2012, after we met, we went on a big journey of visiting ancient sites in this country and mainly in the south because we didn't have the resources to do much further. Um, what we didn't realise we were doing is we were um, say rebalancing or I don't know, we seem to absorb any negative energies of these ancient sites. It made us feel quite ill, which is really strange. Um, we didn't understand the reason that we were doing this, but we were very driven to do it. And I'm not, I've never been, oh, I must have this career, or I must have that. I must do this. I'll do it if I want to, but I don't want to do it. Right. Anyway, so we were very driven to go to these ancient sites around the south, west. We went west a little bit as well. Um, Kent, some places like in London actually. We did go. We went up like Bristol as well, so we kind of went up a little bit as far as we could go. The resources that we had at the time. So well, what's really interesting, one of the things that we were doing was connecting to our ancient ancestors, yeah, and the actual earth that we live on. I suppose it's really where I really started to acknowledge my pagan roots and my witchcraft roots. Was in this journey that spanned 3 years. Then, if we went somewhere and there was like we'd go and visit, it wasn't like we were driven to go and seek these things out. But if we were somewhere and there was an ancient site, we would go and visit, go and visit it. Um, but what was really interesting is when we were visiting these places, there was always an energy about the land. And, through many conversations, what we realized is everything that goes on a piece of land is remembered. Yeah, it's remembered, it's recorded, it's remembered by the earth, um, by the spirits, if you like, that still walk that land. It's all remembered, it's all recorded in some people call them Akashic records. I don't use the Akashic records, yeah, the Akashic records. Um, so, what does that mean in terms of Italy, and this massive clearing, this massive cleansing that is going on in Italy at the moment. Well, um, Romans. I don't know who was there before the Romans. I don't know. But what we do know about the Romans and about that country is there's been a lot of blood spilled there. There's been a lot of. I mean, I'm not saying I mean that I don't think there's any country on this planet that has, known war, bloodshed, and all that, unnecessary stuff. Yeah. But what's really interesting is at the moment we're watching this Rome, which is, and we actually watched by Claudius before that. So it's really bringing home the stories of that land. Yeah? And, even after that, the church. I mean, did you really get any more bloody, any more dark and dingy and murky and yucky? Church. I mean, I'm not old, but so there's a lot of trauma, a lot of stuff that's been buried on that piece of, like I say, I don't think there's any piece of land on this planet that's real. Not me, but it's a bit of um, a bit of a mess, right? So I find it really interesting that right now, all this stuff, all crap, all blood, muck, is coming to the surface, yeah, during this month of February and probably into I'm not saying it's instantly going to change, but let's see how it unfolds. So that's the kind of the bigger picture, planet, and what's happening in different places. What would be really interesting is to find out where this other seismic activity is happening, and what is the history of that? Does it have a similar, very bloody part? Interesting. Um, so that's the kind of planetary picture. I know there is stuff going on astrologically. There's lots of think I'm not an astrologer, so I don't know this for sure. But there's a lot of things that are gathering in the constellation of Aries, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. Um, Aries is a fire sign, is it not? So there's big fire energy going on at the moment as well, with lots of planets and lots of other things congregating in one space. So, we know fire is a massive cleansing energy, and in fact, Imbolc is a fire festival. It is to do with Bridget, who is a goddess of the sun and of fire. She keeps the sacred flame. Her 19 precepts keep the sacred flame alive. Yeah? So, which is a healing. So, well, that's quite interesting as well. So you've got the planetary picture, you've got a more expanded astrological picture, if you like. Um, so how does that relate to us, like humans on this big rock? Well, when you think about it, I'm not actually sure what the sun is doing at the moment. I do know that there's big coronal hole throwing stuff our way. I haven't used it much recently. Um, what I do know is it's like a filter. So I do know one thing. We've had ionized radiation from the big running hole that was basically checking out ionized, whether it's protons, neutrons, or electrons, I'm not sure. It's throwing stuff off and just clear out. It does, yes, I think it's clearing. Um, so that's kind of I think it kind of moves through the Earth's atmosphere down the planet. It moves through us as well. It's facilitated this humongous clearing. So, what does that look like? What does that look like? It could look like many things. It could look um, like physical things happening before it. It could also look like um, things coming up. So this could be people, places, experiences from long ago. Yeah, just passing in front of your magical eyes. Very strange that is. And if it was something or someone that you had previously let go of, then passed in front of your magical eyes, that's a bit strange. Um, but what that indicates to me is that there was a remnant left of the energy of that person's social experience, which you just or allow it to leave. Attached to it will just leave. Um, it could also show up as burning desire to clear out stuff you don't use anymore. Clean, crazily, like a wild person. um, it can also show up as like changes in what you eat, all the stuff that we put into our body. It can show up as this humongous clearing energy. Because, February, that doesn't change, so to speak. That energy of February doesn't change. But this is a massive. This is super amplified, I would say. This energy of is huge. Hi. Funny dog. He stands there staring at me. Um, so my personal experience, so some of you might have had similar experiences. I do know a handful of people who have had similar or the same experiences this past week. Okay? So you might be sitting there nodding your head going, "Hey," as I move through the stuff that happened. So a couple of weeks ago, we had to clear a shed, and it was supposed to clear the whole shed. I haven't left any people yet. I don't want to swear up person. So they don't actually come and assess, like what you did. They just send them pictures and they give you the quote. Um, and when the guy came, it's a lot more than the quote. Like, okay, so what does that mean? He says, well, I can't take any more than take it. So we had stuff left. We had remnants left in the shed. And, this was supposed to be in and done. And it wasn't. So we were left with a residue of energy, yeah, which is actually really annoying. Rightly so, because we paid and they had done it. When I was speaking to the guy, how much would it cost you to come? that anytime. Yeah, so I'll give you a shout. So Monday, gave him a shout and 10 day, and the shed is now here. Now, what was in the shed? So, for the first layer is just physical stuff. Yeah? And we know what it feels like when you clear out physical objects out of your space. It's amazing, isn't it? Especially if it's just, stuff you don't use anymore or, bits of stuff that you go, I'll just put that in the shed and I'll deal with it later. It fills up. Um, so that's the first layer. Yeah, it's just physical stuff. Made a space. Yeah, you've cleared out that space and now it's an empty space. Not shit. So the next layer then, in the shed was it was stuff that some of that stuff I put all the way from, stuff that was like 30. I'd had in my possession for 30 years, but I wasn't using it. It no longer served the purpose in my life, but it was in the shed. So that's an energetic tie to the past. In fact, all of that stuff in the shed through my journey was a tie to stuff that I don't even do anymore. I don't even, yeah, there was my old push bike in there, um, which is really funny because I bought it with money that my granddad had done. It's like the last little bit that I had left. I bought a push bike. I used to go for it. My reason for being was riding a push bike. And so to let go of that, and it's been on many adventures, um, and there was so much emotional stuff tied up in that push. It's like I hadn't ridden it since 2011. Because when I started doing a yoga practice, cycling worked against it. So I had to stop cycling in favour of actually making my body healthier through yoga and cycling. So there was a lot of emotional stuff tied up in that. Humongous and that stuff. But it's like I said to Ian, if I've got to let go of, if we are being called to let release stuff, yeah, then how is that release? Yeah, and it's a bit of a no-brainer, but when you are very emotionally attached to things, it can be really challenging to oh, okay. It has to go. This is what this year is all about, and especially this time. Because, if you're going to walk through the rest of this year into whatever is in 2026, I don't know yet, good decks, really. Otherwise, you're going to be, it's going to kind of catch up with you. That was a weird noise I made. A hand gesture of like Pac-Man eating, trying to fight your thumb, if you like, because you didn't do the work, so to speak, you didn't do the inner work. Because that's what this is really all about. Yeah. Yes, it was physical stuff. Yes, I was emotionally attached to it, but really, what it's about is that inner work of releasing attachments. So literally, I'm plugging that thing, that push point, yeah, from my being so that I can move forward. Because all the time you're being held and anchored to past experiences, past people, past stuff that you used to do. Yeah, you're not gonna. It's gonna find it harder to move forward. Now, don't get me wrong, if things in your life are open, then there's no reason to clear them out. But that changes. And that's something that I find quite interesting. So as we weave on this path and we change, so our exterior world needs to change as well. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to be back to the being you were even 2 weeks ago. Even 2 weeks ago, you are different now to 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So that was a big thing, the shed, and all that emotional baggage, all those attachments are gone. So we're now going to have fun painting the shed and putting things in there. So we're creating at the moment. We are creating Shangri-La in the garden. Part of that is wind chimes, tuned specifically tuned wind chimes. So we're going to install them in the shed and hang out so that we can go in there and just sing them, and then we can put them outside when we want to. I love that. Anyway, um, how else did it show up for us? So I had a video meeting with his doctor, and basically, rather than them dictating, the journey moving forward with treatments and whatnot, I told them, yeah, and that was that is a massive weight, massive millstone off. Yeah, um, because that institution thought form presents such a we know what we're talking about. So that was another clearing. We've cleared a path now, and we did a tiny bit of what they want to do, but I know that's going to fall away as well. Because what we are doing, what myself and Ian are doing, is we're doing it with going down it's what we were doing before, it's what we've done for years, a holistic journey. You know, that's what it's about, isn't it? The whole being, not just a tiny little part of it. So that was another really nice hearing. Um, the main one, though, for me, has been a wisdom tooth, um, which was having a little. It's not one that's come through yet. Even though I was told when I was a teenager, and I had teeth taken out and a brace to make room for these amazing wisdom teeth that were going to show up at some point during my teenage years, which they never did. Later, and they're kind of, okay, yeah, this is come out now. And how long ago was that? Back in 2016. On one side, on the right side of my mouth, it started moving, and it actually locked my jaw, so I couldn't open my mouth until I went into what I now realise was probably a gamma brainwave state. I went in, saw what was going on with my tooth, basically told it to stop doing what it's doing, to a lot of pain as well. I could only eat with a teaspoon. I could get my mouth just open enough. I could put a teaspoon of food in my mouth. It's crazy. Um, so I basically told it off because who's driving the car here? Me, yeah, not something else. Um, and I told it to grow straight rather than, interfering with my other tooth and my jaw. Um, came out of the meditation, pain was gone, I burnt my mouth, pain, done. So when this one started doing its thing, I did the same thing. What I didn't expect was for the inside of my mouth to So it became difficult to eat again. It became quite difficult to talk. Even talking was difficult. Swallowing was difficult. So, and what I was shown, yeah, this is really clever, yeah. What I was shown is because I'd often or asked myself to move the tooth, yeah, to a point where it's not interfering with my other tooth, yeah. That's what it's doing. It's putting pressure on the other tooth and causing a lot of pain again. Um, what it did was it formed it's what most people call an abscess, yeah? But basically it formed a pocket around the tooth so it could move it away from my other teeth. But blimey, and that's putting it nicely, was it pressure in my mouth was in, and that really ramped up. Funny enough, um, just before we did, just before we that was Tuesday, just before that shed clearing, it got really crazy. And then it got crazy again after the shed got cleared. Yesterday was the pinnacle of that, and then because we don't use pharmaceuticals, what do we do? We're using a salty salt, really, really good. Um, I use colloidal silver, uh, occasionally hydrogen peroxide, CBD, and then last night I used a bit of elderberry and licorice tincture. And when I woke up this morning, I'm like, oh wow, there was no pressure in my mouth. So what is that? I had a really weird taste in my mouth though, so clearly it's been draining through the night. Um, but what does that tell me? That tells me that you have all this purging going on, yeah, planetary wise, astronomically, astrologically, astronomically wise, yeah. There's all this purging going on, which had filtered down, and you might have been experiencing the same thing. And basically, this is true. It was to come out, it was to come to the surface, yeah? And it was just this whole thing, this whole week. There's been many different things that have come to light through my wisdom. So maybe it is true when your wisdom tooth, when your wisdom tooth comes through, you get these massive insights. Um, there was a lot of, and Andy was talking about this before we came on the show, like that. It's like a stillness in your being. I call it. It's almost like a flat line where it feels a bit weird, and you think, maybe I need to do something. You don't. You just need to sit in that peace, that stillness, that um, absolute total what bliss, I don't know. It's just a peace. Yeah. Ooh, that's cool. I think that's dog treats in. Dog treats have arrived. um, what else came up? The idea. Now, this, and I can't remember the exact words, but the idea that, and again, this is a no-brainer, but it was the way I was watching a lady who was doing a reading. Very good. She's spot on. Um, and it was the way sometimes the way someone says something that goes through your mind, your whole being, in fact. She was talking about experiences and actually being at peace with every single experience you've ever had, every single experience that you've ever had. Because once you can kind of back and go, actually, yeah, I'm okay with that. I think it was. It's now gone for a start. That's the first thing. Yeah, it's gone. So you can't change it. It's gone. Yeah. So you're gonna clamp onto it and ride that little ride. So you're in a bit of a you dug yourself a hole, basically, or do you let it go, yeah, literally, take the claws out of it, and just it's gone. The only thing that stops us from moving forward is how tightly we hold on to things. That's not to say that, cards here. I'm always doing this. I've got cards. I've got pictures. I've got a nice light actually, because one of my lights that I use these when I do videos and stuff, it's not working. It just stopped working. It's like that's weird. So I bought myself a really nice light, which is up here, and it's actually very cool, and it's a lot better actually than the one I had before. So there we go. That's another clearing. The light broke. I was thinking, oh damn it, hang on a minute, I can get a new one. So the one I got is actually a light than the one that they had before. So isn't that the journey? Yeah, when we let go of these things that don't serve us anymore, have no relevance at all to where we are now, that comes in. So in our shed, go back to the shed for a minute. So in our shed, um, so we have a rack. So we're going to go and paint it. I've got paint on this one. So we're going to paint the inside really nice, like um, a very light pink colour. It's not a big shed, but it needs to be light in there. Yeah. We have a rack where we put our tents. We're going to put our wooden bench in there for when we're potting up and things like that. We're going to be hanging the times from the rack so that we can take them outside. We've got some really nice. They're plant hanging things, brackety things. But these ones are a bit special. That's what we were talking about earlier about luxurious things. So if you're going to buy a hanging basket, pardon me, bracket, buy a really nice one. So we did. And I'm glad we did, because some of these wind chimes are actually quite heavy. We'd have bought, cheap ones for £2 from pound shop. They wouldn't. It would not hold these wind chimes. I'm glad we got the better one. Um, so the shed is going to become something very different to what it was before. So before it was just a place to put rubbish, basically. Yeah. So really, that shed was like what was in my mouth. Yeah, it had built up, built up, built up, and there was pressure. So I suppose you could say we put ourselves under pressure to clear the shed, but it needed to be cleared because now we have a really nice space that has never been used for anything else but putting crap in, basically. Since I moved in here, 20 years ago, that was what it was for. That was what the shed was for, putting stuff in there that you didn't use anymore. So it's now going to be a really nice space. So, how does that translate on planetary level? Well, I suppose, because things are clearing at the moment on different levels. Um, One of the things that I did, I was, when people just randomly tell you stuff that actually they don't mean to tell you, but it comes out of their mouth. I've had that experience a lot in my life, and that actually happened with the doctor I was speaking to last week. She basically said that the systems that they use in the NHS hospital do not communicate with each other. It's broken. So what does that tell me? It tells me that it's falling apart. It's crumbling. You know, if there's anything of that institution that can be purpose, then that's all well and good. It's like, a lot of these institutions are um, not fit for purpose, so they would probably just completely collapse. Which is the clearing, the cleansing. You know? There are parts that can be reused or repurposed, cleaned up, then absolutely. Um, but I thought that was quite interesting that she inadvertently told me that without realising that she told me that. So I thought that was quite funny. Um, so I suppose on a personal level, um, and you might have been in a similar situation. So I know for a fact that I've spoken to people who have had a lot of around the back of the left ear, like pain, and then going down into the shoulder. And sometimes there's also been noise in that ear as well. Um, so is that a clearing? I would say yes, because when you think of a window, yeah, so your window's all mucky, yeah, can't see out, light can't get in. You clean that window inside and out, light can get in, and you can see out, and everything is much clearer. And in fact, that was the other thing that happened. Ian's been getting a lot of stuff with his left ear. So I did the Hopi ear candles. This is so here's stuff that before, and not just in our home, but like so his hearing sense, if you like, is amplified, which is what is happening with us right now. So all our senses are being amplified as we embrace this clearing and move more into really are. We really are what we've been told in the institution. Um, and what does that look like in terms of the experience, like daily experiences? Uh, Again, that could be around being aware of your internal system. One of the things that I've been getting about 6 months maybe during meditation is a very specific coldness with the, I think I spoke about this last week, with that it's like the boundaries of my body, this body is kissing. Um, it's a very different feeling to what I might have experienced before. And then that body experience, which I love that. um, it could be that you become more aware of that. It could be that you're seeing on every level, on different layers, of, dimensional things. You know, it can even be, for example, you become allergic to something that you could eat or drink before, or that all of a sudden you're eating or drinking things you weren't drinking before. Does that make sense? So it could be an elimination of something from your diet or bringing something in that you would have never ever considered eating before. It's these some things are very subtle, some things are massive. Like their own shit. Like actually saying to the doctor, right, we're not doing it that way. We're actually going to do it this way. In fact, there's even some things I'm not going to tell you about. You wouldn't understand. So I don't know. I find it really interesting. You know, my little tooth experience is actually, you know, a little bit of the bigger picture that is a fractal of the bigger picture that I've been experiencing this week. And I find it quite I do. Um, so yeah, I would actually like to open it out. See if you've had similar experiences through the month of February, but especially this past week. So yeah, if anyone wants to share or ask, hello. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Solar maximum. Yeah. Yeah. It's been. Yeah. Mm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, if you look at it uh, instead of a waveform, it would be a spiral. Spiral in and spiral out. Right, just good then. No, I just did. It was me. That's weird. That's weird. It was showing me as muted when I wasn't muted. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yellowstone. How that? Well, if fire in that area or something
Mm.
because under there, various reasons are
Yeah, I think the earth and the sun. I think the whole this whole system works together to um, clear out the rubbish, so to speak. That's how I see it. And I have to say, these people who think they're in charge, there's no greater force than what made this planet and the planets around it and the sun. But they think they can control any of that. They're completely deranged. But, no, really. Oh, wow. Mm. Yeah. Mhm. Wow. Yeah, Edinburgh's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Quite interesting, isn't it? Yes. Producer is amazing. Yeah, that ELO, that is. Oh, wow. But when you look at I think it's China, isn't it? The warriors, the stone warriors, and each one of them is unique. That was my theory around that. They're not carved. They're actual people who have been turned to stone. But if I said that out loud, people would think I was crazy. Hmm. Wow. Mm.
See all these, that's a bronze, so they couldn't have, that's a real bronze. Anyways, yeah, and Remington.
All right. Uh, did anyone else have anything they wanted to comment on? Yeah. Yep. Okay. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Charlie. Wow. Would I call it shadow work? I'd call it more aligning with who you really are, and then the shadow work just falls away because all the time, all the time you're doing the shadow work, then you're acknowledging that there's a shadow to be worked on. So if you kind of, that's kind of the journey I've been on with my tooth. Yeah, it's like, okay, so if I acknowledge that I'm having a problem with my tooth, first layer is I have a tooth in the first place, but in actual fact, I don't have a tooth in the first place. I don't even have a tooth in the second place. There is no such thing as a tooth. So, because everything, I like to call them neutrinos, but some people say that, it's like things vibrating that form matter. So, is there even such a thing as a tooth? So, it really come down to it, if shadow work, doing the shadow work works for you, then do it. Yeah. But from where I'm standing, there isn't a shadow because if you are the source of light, the sun doesn't have a shadow. If that makes sense. It might.
combination of all the
Yep.
you carry some of that from previous either previous incarnation like genetic something like that. Just from like say someone's involved with high level masonry or Shriner activity or cultish activity with the Mormons, where they do very very evil things and this kind of heritage. Okay, say your father's one of those. Not saying this is just theoretical.
Yeah.
Yeah, your father is
Yep. Yep. No, I get that. Many layers to that. What I would say is, because we are what we give our energy to, what we give our attention to, is what grows. And that can be anything, either side of the fence. Yeah. So, that sounds like a very long journey, doesn't it? To restore the genetic imprint of a whole family is sounds like that's a slog. That's an uphill slog. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. But if there was a way by actually fully embodying who you are, bearing in mind we are a fraction of something much bigger that can see everything. There are fractals within fractals within fractals. So if we change one thing about ourselves, and I'm suggesting that, self-realization, self-inquiry, I'm not saying, don't do the inner work because that's important. It's this idea of constantly having to do shadow work. But mm, it's constantly saying that there's more clear than that. Yeah, well, once it's done, it's done. So if we, as the beings that are on this planet right now that have chosen or been chosen, whatever way you want to say it, to be here right now for this journey, if we change one thing, so if we switch on our light, for example, that's not just us we're affecting the rest of the fractal because the fractal is part of the whole. It reflects the whole in that small part. So you could say it's a radical change to actually accept that you are not this physical body. That changes everything. It changes the whole being that is that like all the fractals put together. Does that make sense? I don't know if I've explained that. Good question. Well, I would say that there would be new fractals, new experiences, but also amplifications of experiences that are aligned to being that you truly are as well. Does that make sense? So it'd be a bit of both. It would be like, for example, um, so like shed, shed. So it's still the same shed essentially, but it's going to be having a very different experience, and we are going to be having a very different experience of the shed. Although it's still the same shed. So it's the fractal of the shed. It is being and has been and will continue to be expanded upon or experienced in a different way. Does that make sense? We're definitely painting inside and outside. We're going to put drapey type plants from the roof as well. We're going to have some nice planters on the roof, flat roof shed. So yeah, we're going to have some plants draped down. So it's going to be proper Shangri-La in our garden. Yeah, I think it's making space, isn't it? So once you cut the cord on something, it doesn't. If you I don't know, I'm looking now for an example. Whee! Ah, Absolutely. Yeah. Because when you do that, you're letting those things, you're allowing those things to attach to you, it keeps you in that energy. Yeah. Yep. Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Civilization were. Went to the very south coast, and there was a big piece of quartz in the cliff. So when the sun came down at a certain level, it shone through that quartz, and it came out like a big,
Wow.
huge prism. Like
Um, Yep, 1919. Yep. Nope. Okay. Yeah, what I would say, well, the thing that, and I know it's cliche, but when you're going through this kind of quite intense energy of February or all the way to the spring equinox, just know that this will pass. Because it does pass. Nothing is ever static, certainly not in our experience. Um, Even when they look the same every day, there's always subtle little things that have changed. So yeah, on that note, I'm gonna go.